what? It's what? Welcome to What's What with Old Man Liver, your favorite freaky fucked up friend. And this is the show where I get to do whatever the fuck I want and have whoever I want as guests on my show. And today's guests are my own old lady, Mama Tess is joining me in the studio. So my partner in business and pleasure.
Thank you.
And my other guest is not actually in the studio, but his name is Nick, and he's with the Fyre Festival too. So he'll be joining us, and that's actually going to be our discussion today. Because for those of you that don't know, a while, maybe 2 months ago, I put in April. Was in April. Okay, put in my name in the hat to acquire the rights to the Fyre Festival. And for those of you who have not seen the actual documentary, check it out and come back to this podcast because it's going to be extra amusing. It's on Netflix. It's called The Fyre Festival, The Greatest Party That Never Happened. So what happened was this guy, Billy McFarland, wanted to promote this new app he had going on. So he came up with this idea of doing this festival with models and all this shit in the Bahamas and charging a lot of money for it and so forth. Ultimately, a lot of people went, but nothing ever happened. So there was
a complete disaster.
It was a complete disaster. It was a fucking shit show of all shit shows. And
I even considered going. I almost bought tickets to go to that event.
Which is crazy because you didn't even know who was booked.
No.
Because no one was booked.
No one knew.
Yeah.
So because no one was actually booked.
Yeah. No artist showed up. There was nowhere to eat, sleep, or, take a crunch. It was one of these things like apparently the little bit of food that was there was completely a joke. Like they had in the documentary, you see, they show a sandwich that was like $25. And it was just cheese and lettuce. There was no meat or anything. It's a fucking joke. And then there's these luxury villas were just leftover hurricane tents. And people. The bottom line is it was a disaster. The guy got in a lot of trouble because it wasn't just incompetence. He tried to rip people off. And even after the festival, he used his database to go back and try to rip people off a second time. So he did like 4 years out of a 6-year sentence, and
has a lot of restitution.
Yeah,
to
still
pay.
owes like $26 million in restitution to his victims. So he gets out of jail, tries to do this Fyre 2 festival in Mexico, doesn't pull that one off either. And so I'm talking to my old lady, going, "Hey, man, like why don't you just sell the fucking rights to us and we'll do it?" Because we throw multiple festivals a year. Like that's right.
With thousands of people.
Yeah, with thousands of, at least the amount of people he was trying to get at either of these. In fact, many more, because the second one he was just trying to do 2,000 people and he couldn't even fucking pull that one off. So right as I'm saying this, all of a sudden they make an announcement that they're willing to sell the intellectual property for the fucking show. And for that reason, they realize, we're not good at this. But maybe we can make some money because the Netflix documentary was so successful that all of a sudden it had an international name that was worth something. So, of course, I fucking have to throw my name in the hat. And they've got this on their website, a form to fill out if you're interested. And it was a very elaborate one-page.
Were there 3 boxes to fill in?
Yeah, I think I had 3 boxes, including how much you're willing to pay. And you couldn't even put in the decimals, like it only allowed certain characters and didn't have any signing off on, what
there was no disclaimer information. There was nothing. It was a joke.
It was a complete, that alone was, you realized, oh shit, we're dealing with, like kindergartner level stuff here. So, which, I respect, don't get me wrong. I pride myself on my kindergarten-esque quality. So, here I am, I'm offering $100,000 for the whole Fyre concept, because and that was going to be my attitude, is like what you guys couldn't do, Old Man Liver is going to pull off, and we're going to have a real festival, because it's the original concept was cool, and the name is out there, and we know how to throw fucking parties, so it wasn't going to be anything mind-boggling from my standpoint.
Nothing too difficult for us to pull off. We do it all the time.
Yeah, so we start negotiations, and the first contract you think if you got in all this fucking trouble in the past for frauding people, that maybe this time for the second one, you'd have your shit together.
Now, let's remind everyone that one of the things that happened with the Mexico Festival or the Fyre Festival too was that they produced false documents created on ChatGPT to indicate that and tried to prove to people that they legitimately had contracts with the governments and various entities that were supposed to be where they were going to host this event. And none of it was real.
Yeah, I don't know.
At least that's what the news story said.
Yeah.
So
we don't know for that allegedly. But
fair enough. But let's give that. I think that context needs to be there because it's very important of the next few things that you're going to explain.
That's a good point because the Mexican government was completely denying having them on their event lineup at all, and same with the town. Correct. They were planning on doing it. Everyone denied except for them who swore it was on and it was going to happen until they've officially called it off. And this time, at least, I think they gave people their money back. So it wasn't like the first one where everyone was just completely fucking juked and didn't have any recourse. Right. So going into this thing, we know we're dealing with shysters, right? So like we were extra careful, but after our, we had a very good conversation in good faith very early on. It was going very well. They were on board with the concepts that we wanted to do. We felt like we were in a good place from where we had negotiated, and we're ready to move forward with drafting a contract. Yeah, and we were going to be careful with everything and make sure which, when you're trying to look into stuff, usually if you're trying to sell your IP or your ideas, you've got a deck and an explanation of the company that owns it and what they own and what you get. And they had fucking nothing. No. So we had to start from fucking scratch. 45
minutes after we get off the phone, we get an email with a contract that was prepared by their legal team, right. Which was a ChatGPT contract.
Right. Which had their own name of their own company wrong.
Correct. It did not actually have the name of the legal entity that owns the rights to the current IP intellectual property to even prove that they had the rights to sell the shit.
Yeah. So first we had to even prove, make sure we were talking to the people that have the rights.
Correct.
And that it's because it's basically this guy, Billy McFarland, and like 3 other guys trying to keep this thing alive and sell the name. So,
and if anyone has ever done any kind of business contracts at all, ever in their life that are legitimate and not just half-assed done, especially when you've got a group of individuals that have clearly done things in the past that have gotten them in trouble, you take your time and you do your due diligence and you make sure that it's properly done by your attorney. Yeah. Not your legal AI team.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Your ChatGPT.
So the first round of this, where we're getting our attorneys involved and having them look at everything, is when we discovered that half of the information that we had was not accurate as it related to what LLCs or what entities actually owned the rights. So that kind of set us back and having to start again.
So that you got to take a month just figuring all that shit out. Right. And they didn't know, he didn't know the answers to any of the questions, whether their company was an LLC or an S Corp or a C Corp. We had to get down and dirty with it. He kept having to go back to Billy for the answers, which is amazing. If you're his top guy trying to sell the IP to other people, you should know these things off the top of your fucking head, including what the name of your company is.
And in the middle of all of this, we get a random ass bulk text message from Billy McFarland saying, I understand you want to buy something to this effect. I understand you want to buy the rights to Fyre Festival. Give me your pitch. Now, we've already been talking to them for quite a bit of time at this point. Like, are you that unprofessional that if you're going to send out a group text like that you don't pull out the information of the people that you've already talked to? Because I don't know, that just sounds, it's an amateur move. It's a sloppy, shitty amateur move.
Yeah, I was like, when I first got, I was like, oh shit, Billy texted me directly. I didn't want him even in my phone, right? And then I realized, oh wait, that's just a mass text to everyone who's like, he doesn't even realize, they didn't take out my number, someone they're already talking to about doing something. So the whole thing has been a fucking joke through the entire process, but we hung in there and, we kept moving forward, and it's like, okay, we're going to do this. And we met with, and you've heard me complain about my legal team. I mean, they're pain in my ass and they're expensive as fuck, but they're the best
They are
out there. So
we have the best attorneys that we could possibly have.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
So these guys just have Chat GPT.
Yeah. And also during this process, we had to have another call with a gentleman that wanted to continue to I will give him credit for being very polite about the level of pressure of how quickly we needed to move on this and that we needed to wire money and that we needed to, we really don't need to have this extra contract language. We could really just get this all accomplished with an MOU because it'll hold up in court. I'm sorry, but where in the fuck did you get your legal degree? I'm just saying. Because the last time I checked.
Explain what an MOU is.
Yeah, it's a memo of understanding. It has no more clout in many cases than a letter of intent.
Right.
Like in this scenario, not having an actual contract with appropriate legal language would have put us in a very shitty situation. Also knowing their history and the fact that they owe $26 million in restitution, like to, I don't know, anyone who tells anyone about any kind of scams, like you don't just send off money when you're being pressured to do it. It's the number one rule with Zelle. It's the number one rule when banks,
Right.
like don't just wire
Especially
people money when you're being pressured into doing it. So we said, we want our payments for this to be over time, milestone payments, making sure that they live up to their end of the deal and that we're able to live up to our end of the deal also. Like that's what's important for both parties
Normal
for this
shit.
to be successful.
Yeah.
Normal shit.
But yeah, in their particular case, they were completely thrown off by that. And literally we get off the phone, we have this contract and they're like, sign this and wire the money. And we're like, hold on, horsey. Because, we need to review this and we'll get back to you. And then of course, when we realized the contract was a joke, it was like 3 pages. Stuff was incorrect in there. We're like, okay, we're going to have to start from scratch. And it's going to have to be a very elaborate contract because there's all, legal things. We don't want to be responsible for their debt. There's so many intricacies in this fucking shit show of a project. But, so of course my attorneys, my publicists and everybody thinks I'm nuts already, but I'm like, no, we're moving forward.
They all thought we were crazy for doing this. And we're like, we know what we're getting ourselves into.
Yeah. We know
that's why we want a solid contract so that it can't go fucking sideways.
Right. Yeah. Because we know, once you send the money, they don't have any assets. There's no suing them afterwards or anything. And I'm sure they got dumbasses on a smaller scale to send the money and just sign whatever. God knows what people did out there. And basically, ultimately, what ours was going to be was a Fyre Festival, Las Vegas based Fyre Festival, whether we tied it into our Mojave Mayhem event or some other thing or came up with our own concept or just did Old Man Liver's Fyre Festival. That's what it was going to be. We have we're based in Las Vegas. We can pull this shit off with our fucking glands tied behind our jukers. So it's not like this is rocket science for us. This is what we do for a living for the most part. Our company, Butter Popcorn Entertainment, does this shit all year long. So, we have venues lined up. We have great relationships all over town. This
would not have been a difficult thing for us to try to pull off.
Yeah. And it could have brought their name back.
And we would have been successful at it.
And if they were smart, they would have looked at it like, okay, we got this out of them this year. Now it's successessul. Let's keep going and let's keep signing.
Let's make it a perpetual agreement.
And they maybe could have gotten some money out of us. Now, not 26 million, but maybe if they did it right and then that spread the word and Fyre started getting to be a good brand again, other people would buy into it or for other events and shit like that. Because they've got somebody else, they con somebody else into like, allegedly, maybe not conned, but they've got a streaming service.
Well, if you're saying convinced.
Yes, I've convinced someone to follow up. Thank you. This is my attorney, Mama Tess. They've got other deals. They've got some streaming deal and some hotel in the Caribbean or something paid just to have a little small event using the name. I can't imagine that was, and even in the press release, a guy goes, "I'm only doing this for publicity." I'm like, that's why I'm doing it. Yeah. So the whole point was just because we thought it would be funny. Old Man Liver buys the Fyre Festival and does it right for the first fucking time.
And anything we ever do, we've always said, if it just entertains us, then that's all
we
even wanted to get out of it. And
even the whiskey, we're like, hey, if
we started that just to entertain ourselves.
If we enjoy the whiskey and nobody else does, we'll have a lifetime supply.
Mm-hmm.
So, for me, maybe a week or two. But so we always go with entertaining ourselves first. Yep. Then if it works and other people are entertained too, then
it was
that's
successful.
even better. So that was the attitude we had going to this thing. Everything was pretty smooth except for the urgent. You could, in my opinion, the guy was getting a lot of pressure, probably from Billy McFarland, although I can't say for sure.
Right.
Because it was always like, hey, what's the status? What are we doing? And it's like, I just told you I'm meeting with my team tomorrow, and then we'll follow up from there. And it's normal shit. And I've
never done a contract that's taken like a short amount of time. Like getting something done in 2.5 to 3 months. That's like amazing.
Oh, yeah.
We've never had a scenario like that when we've done any complex business deals. And this one kind of is. Like everything about it is complex. And I mean,
it's for a show that's next year. So we'd have plenty of time to pull it off. And this time we would have properly, booked bands before we started selling
announcing
tickets
things?
and shit.
I don't know.
In both
Novel
of their
concept.
cases, they announced the events before they had any acts booked.
I mean, and you know what? I gotta respect it a little bit. Like that's some confidence in yourself and your brand and whatever, and probably some silly shit that you and I would do.
And you were planning on going at one point, and you didn't know who the fuck was
playing. And I had no
playing.
idea it was going to play, but I was like, this is going to have to be a great experience.
They did such a great job marketing this shit.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
With the models, and nobody knew what it was. They just knew there were models jumping into the ocean. And
For sure.
Like, come out, party with us or some shit. It was bizarre. So we were going to have a real concept. Whether we tied it in, we had a concept where we were going to tie it into actual fire, like fire dancers and, whole circus act type thing. We also had a concept of doing a young country.
Oh, young country one. Yeah.
Resurrection.
Bringing back some bands and talent that maybe their careers are not at their height anymore, but,
we can help
resurrect the Fyre Festival, resurrect these
some of these acts that are good.
So we had a lot of really great concepts, and
even brands that you hadn't heard of in a while. That kind of shit.
You and I just needed to narrow it down to what exactly were we going to do?
Yeah,
like what did we want it to end up looking like? And every one of those would have been a viable concept.
And they loved all these concepts,
absolutely
concepts, and made sense. And we sent them graphics.
Could have even done multiple in a year, like.
Oh yeah,
could have done one of each.
It was amazing. So everything was going smoothly and all that, and then. So fast forward to last Saturday night, it wasn't that much fasting forward because this has all been in the last 2 months. And I sent an email just going, hey, I met with my legal team the day before. I've given them 2 weeks to put together a solid contract that, protect both parties, blah, blah, blah. And then you'll have even time to go through it yourself. And if you want to make any adjustments or negotiate, whatever, we can still get all this done by the end of the month. Which is pretty fucking quick.
And keep in mind, 2 weeks was you have that length of time if you need it. But if our attorney got it done in 4 days or 5 days or whatever, because he was able to put everything together, then it would have been in a couple of days. It didn't have to go the full 2 weeks. That was just we might need this much time based on the work that had to be done in order to validate everything.
Yeah. So I thought it was a very professional email, especially coming from Old Man Liver.
Absolutely.
But he didn't find it that way, and he was offended that it was going to take even longer in his mind. Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing it was a Saturday night when he called me. But
he was out to dinner. Maybe he was having some cocktails. Who really knows?
Who knows? But
he wouldn't admit to it.
All of a sudden, I get this text message where he's like very upset and call me. Hey, big guy, you go kick rocks. We're done with you. Yeah. You're not.
I think it was something along the lines of "You're a fucking joke. Go kick rocks, big guy."
Right.
Like,
and then
who says that to people? But okay.
Then I'm like, did you get my email? Like it was and then I go back on the email and it's just as bad or worse. His response to what I felt like as a pretty fucking professional and clear follow up, whatever. And so then I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm trying to figure this out. And all of a sudden he starts calling through. And at the very beginning, I think he just says, dude, you're a fucking joke. And then he just start out that way. Oh,
and
then he says, I didn't want us just texting back and forth. I wanted to be face to face. And I'm like, we're not face to face. We're on cell phones. But whatever, dude. As long as you feel comfortable bowing up, like feeling like we're face to face, even though we're in different states and we're on cell phones, then good for you. I'm happy to talk to you. Whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. If anybody knows, if you've ever worked with an attorney,
They're not cheap.
they're not fucking cheap anywhere. Like, I mean, anybody knows if you've ever hired an attorney for anything, you know, you pay, you know, they'll charge you for per email, like 120.
I'm pretty sure we sent an email to one of our attorneys, and within 24 hours, I got an invoice for $125.
Yeah.
That probably took this person 5 minutes to respond to.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm in the wrong industry. I mean,
for real.
Just saying.
And we've got
Not that I would ever
teams
wanna
of
be an attorney.
attorneys for every company we're involved in. We even the Pioneer Saloon has you know, a trademark attorney, a litigation attorney, so and so. Like you need someone that specializes in
all
each
these
area.
things.
And in this case, I got one of the top IP attorneys in LA to assist a regular Las Vegas attorney.
So do you pay the old man liver attorneys in whiskey though?
I try to, and
But they
sometimes
don't.
they accept it.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it because that's a form of currency as far as I'm concerned. Just like for Fallout fans, bottle caps is a form of currency.
Absolutely.
Liquor, I think, is a legitimate currency. You know, if the whole world goes to
I mean,
shit.
if we could pay people in whiskey all the time, I
Yeah.
mean, that would be fantastic.
Tell me if everything went to shit, that this bottle wouldn't be worth something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to want guns, canned food, and
liquor.
whiskey.
Whiskey. For sure.
And
And
weed.
weed.
And women.
And women.
Whiskey, women, and weed. Thank you, Austin, for
The tie-in.
tying in my
Wednesday.
You'll get an
slogan.
invoice for $1hundred$125 tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I look
What are you,
forward to
fucking
it. I'll be
attorney?
paying you in $125 worth of Old Man Liver whiskey.
That's like 2 bottles.
Because I kept saying, I'm like, he kept telling me I was a waste of his time. I'm like, then why are you
Why are you
calling
fucking
me?
calling me? This is like I
You're
don't know what-
calling me.
It was well after 8 o'clock at night on Saturday.
Yeah,
like
and he called me.
Yes.
Like, but he kept saying
we
I
were
was
just
wasting his time
relaxing,
and I'm a
trying
joke.
to enjoy a Saturday evening, and this is the shit we had to deal with because he was too immature to be able to actually just handle the situation and understand that within 2 weeks you've got a contract and then you might be able to have an event in perpetuity. But no, he wanted to act like a little fucking joke bitch.
Which I'm a little bit jealous that he immatured me in some
I know.
ways.
I know,
Because I
honey.
always pride myself on
I know
my
you do.
immaturity, but I couldn't fucking help. And then, you know, like you said, Austin, you can tell when I just fucking gave up salvaging or answering anything.
Yeah,
any
big guy. I'm
context.
just going to start calling you big guy.
Big guy. And what
Hey
a
there,
strange
big
thing.
guy.
Changing
Go kick
his
rocks.
name in my phone right now to Big Guy.
Yeah,
We should.
I need to put that
We should
in
all do
here
that. I'm
too.
going to start.
and-
I'm going to start calling you that on the regular. Give it to me, big guy.
So the question he never answered was whether he was drinking or not. And then, not that, you know, I'm
And he
fucking
also
old man
could-
liver. If you're getting criticized from old man liver, and you're a fuck up, like in my opinion.
Seriously.
But you know, once again, I pride myself on being a fuck up. But if you out fuck up me, I guess, you know, what am I going to do?
I mean, there's
I'm
got
not
to
a
be.
shyster.
There are other people out there, honey, that might actually be better than you at being a fuck up.
You're hurting my ego here.
I understand.
But,
You got to step it up.
yeah.
You got to step it up.
This dude. So, and that's a funny thing. And that, and so the silence times were you drinking and,
Couldn't tell you what this was all about. What he was supposed to be
no,
doing.
yeah. When he said,
Yeah.
I don't give a shit about your money, and like, then why do you want to do business
And all
with
the
me?
other times when he kept saying you're wasting my time. Well, you're calling us.
Yeah. You didn't get that point. I'm
No.
like, then why did you call me?
Right. Like he could have just left it at the email of we're done.
Yeah.
Great.
But
Okay.
I was like, you know, you guys had 10 years to put together 2 fucking
Seriously.
festivals and you didn't do it.
It
And you're
started
worried
what,
about
in-
2 months?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
like-
supposed to happen in 2017. Never fucking happened. It was supposed to happen in May of this last year. Never
Didn't
fucking
happen, yeah.
happened. So I don't know. We pull off multiple events every single year.
Yeah, we can.
Pulling this off, we can do in our fucking sleep.
Right. This would have been one of our easier
One.
projects. But this dude, you can't write this shit, right, Austin? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just so amusing that, and this is the guy trying to revive the brand, that they had it, they have to work extra hard to get away from that when clearly Billy's just hiring more of him, people like him to
Which
go
is a
out
shame.
there and just
I
try to
actually
get
kind
money.
of feel bad for him.
Yeah,
that
you can
he's-
tell he's clearly stressed out, and for that I feel bad. I don't appreciate him. I mean, I don't really care, to be honest with you, that he calls me a loser, and
You're not hurting our feelings.
Yeah, he didn't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but I don't need Nick from Fyre Festival 2 to validate my existence in this world and my capabilities of being a really good entrepreneur and event producer.
I did. I needed.
I'm hurt
I needed
now.
that validation, but
hurt.
now I'm just a shell of who I was before this conversation.
He actually said you're nobody. So with that, we actually have to cancel What's What with Old Man Liver now.
That's right.
I'm just letting you know
What's
now.
What
Doesn't
podcast.
exist.
It doesn't
That's right.
exist.
None
Oh, no.
of this exists.
I don't know about.
Billy, why does Billy care about your 150 when he owes 28 million? I'm like, what logic is that? Then why are you trying to do business with me? If you don't care about my money or my brand or me, why are you talking to me? Why did you call me? Like, so it's just
Everything happens for a reason.
What are you going to do?
We're going to go on and there'll be big things coming.
We are going to go on. And that concludes What's What with Old Man Liver. Woo-da!